this paper, what we were really interested in is understanding how loss of sea ice is affecting polar bears at the most basic level, so at the level of energy. And we know that by losing sea ice, polar bears are losing time when they can hunt from the sea ice platform. That means less energy coming in, and then ultimately less energy that you can invest in kind of being healthy and surviving, or crucially producing offspring. So that's kind of the critical mechanism for polar bears, is the change in the balance of energy, where you've got more time energy going out and less energy coming in to cover all of those costs. And we've seen this particularly in Western Hudson Bay in Canada, where sea ice loss has been extreme. So we wanted to understand how this change in environment has impacted energy of bears. So we built a model of how polar bears take in energy and how they use energy for an individual polar bear across their entire life cycle. And then we use the model to simulate an entire population of bears that were experiencing the same kind of conditions of changing sea ice that we've seen in Western Hudson Bay for the past 4 decades. And then we took the results of our model and compared that to real life things that we've seen happen in Western Hudson Bay. So the very long-term data set in Western Hudson Bay that we were able to compare or model hindcasts, or the predictions of our model of what the paths look like. And we found a really good match between what our model predicted, what had happened, and what had actually been observed in Western Hudson Bay. So that gives us a really good indication that actually energy and how polar bears are taking in and use energy is the fundamental mechanism that's being affected by this changing environmental conditions that polar bears have experienced. So we've seen all this kind of evidence building up of polar bears having negative responses to sea ice loss. But this paper has really dug in and found that mechanism, or that quantitative link between sea ice, individual polar bears, and overall population dynamics. This model was able to really accurately reproduce what we've seen happen in real life. That's really strong evidence that we've kind of honed in and captured the critical aspect of polar bears that's been affected by sea ice loss. And using this tool, we can then use it for other areas of the Arctic where we don't have such good information about how polar bears have been doing through time, but we now have this kind of modeling approach that we can use and apply elsewhere to try and understand what's happening in regions where we can't actually go out and monitor polar bears. The findings of this paper provides very robust quantitative evidence for the negative impacts of sea ice loss, and that, I think, is a strong piece of evidence to support policy changes to limit loss of sea ice and limit climate warming.